Let us try a small exercise together. I promise it will be very insightful. Think back over the last few days. Consider the various things you have been doing, your work, your home life, and social activities. Include the everyday tasks, challenges you may have faced, and your interactions with others. Let us create a list of about 8 to 10 of these activities. To give you a few ideas, this list might include driving to work, working at your desk, visiting the gym, spending time with your partner, going out with friends, maybe watching television, having lunch or dinner, or even browsing on your phone. You get the idea. Feel free to add a few more that are specific to your day. Now, for the interesting and insightful part, for each activity on your list, let's estimate how fully engaged you felt during that activity. We can use a simple scale from 1 to 5, where 1 means you were barely engaged, perhaps quite distracted, and 5 means you were fully engaged and completely present. For instance, if you commute by train and spend the entire journey working on your laptop, that might be a lower score. But if you are out with friends and genuinely focused on enjoying their company, that would likely be a higher score. It is helpful to be honest with ourselves in this reflection. For example, when you spend time with your partner, were you truly present with them? Or were your thoughts already moving to the next thing on your to-do list? When you read a bedtime story to your kids, were you immersed in the story? Or were you thinking about chores waiting for you? Take a moment to think about your scores for the activities you listed. Recognizing autopilot living. It can be quite revealing to notice how often we're not fully engaged with what's happening right now. Often, the only exceptions are when we're doing something we deeply love, like a hobby or a sport, or when an unexpected event occurs that fully captures our attention, like a child falling and spraining her foot. If we find ourselves frequently disengaged, what does it mean? Well, it can mean that we are missing out on significant portions of our lives. We might be less present for moments that we will never have again. We are living on autopilot. It seems the busier we are, the more easily we can slip into this autopilot mode. Now, autopilot is not all quite bad. In fact, it's very useful. When routine tasks are put on autopilot, they require less mental effort. It allows us to conserve energy for more critical and creative thinking. But living most of our lives on autopilot is not really living. It is merely existing. Living on autopilot is an inevitable part of modern life, but it doesn't have to define our entire existence. Have you ever wondered what we might be missing when we're in autopilot mode? We might be missing out on the joy in small moments, like the warmth of the sun on our skin or a beautiful smile from a child, opportunities to connect deeply with loved ones, the ability to break free from habits that no longer serve us, like stress eating or procrastination. Autopilot is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it allows us to navigate daily routines with ease and efficiency. On the other, it can lead to a life of monotony and disconnection. Fortunately, our brains are wired with the capacity for change. We can train ourselves out of autopilot mode and into a more engaged and meaningful life. Shifting to mindful moments. How do we do it? Start small. Pick just one activity, something you usually do on autopilot. Maybe your morning coffee, or eating lunch, or a conversation with a loved one. What happens when you bring awareness to just one moment? Your morning coffee becomes a ritual of presence instead of a rushed habit. Lunch turns into a time to truly enjoy your food instead of scrolling mindlessly. A conversation with a loved one deepens because you are fully listening, not just waiting to reply. We can change the way we live our lives. Instead of going through the motions without thinking, we can learn to pay attention and enjoy the moments we are in. That is the difference between living on autopilot versus mindful living. Ready to ditch autopilot and start living a more engaged, more inspired life? Then subscribe to the channel and join our free 2-week course. We will give you practical tools and strategies to help you break free from autopilot and start adding mindful moments to your days.